Welcome to the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest channel here on the People Chronicles. So glad to have you here, and even happier to have none other than Mindi Abair with us.
Thanks for having me.
On stage, live at the Miller Center at RAC. You just did a phenomenal show.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I have to say this. We were talking about it backstage, actually. I don't know if your ears were ringing. You did Santa Baby.
Yes, I did.
Eartha Kitt meets Marilyn Monroe meets Mindi Abair. Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
You know what? I love Santa Baby so much. I actually wrote it into the Christmas song that I wrote. I Can't Wait for Christmas. It's in there, turn on the radio to Santa Baby. And the guys, years later, we've been doing this tour now 11 years for Christmas. Right. And they were like, why don't you sing Santa Baby? You could get a boa and get crazy. And I was like, I don't know what to do with a boa.
Oh, come on. Oh, yes, you did.
Peter White showed me boa moves, which was, I mean, if I could have had that on YouTube, it would have 7 million hits. And we put it into the show. We had fun, I was like, okay, I can do this, but I love the song so much. I just think it's one of the sexiest Christmas songs.
It is.
And it's so great. She's just asking for diamond rings and, furs and cars and everything. It's funny and it's quirky and I love it.
I didn't catch that. I listened to the song you wrote, Can't Wait for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
You wrote that for this show?
Actually, we were going to go on the road. Peter asked me to go on the road for a Christmas tour in 2003. And my record had just come out. And I was like, yeah, but if we go on a Christmas tour, I love Christmas. I need some Christmas music to play. He already had a Christmas CD out, and I didn't. I had just put out my first solo CD. So I talked my record label into recording 2 songs. And we recorded a song I wrote, I Can't Wait for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then we recorded Happy Christmas, which is the John Lennon song. Right. And I've loved that song forever, and we closed the show with it. We have for years. And so I actually recorded those. We put a little CD together that was just 2 songs, and we gave them out at the shows.
They're so necessary to have those holiday tunes. And I think it's another connection to the audience when you do that. Speaking of your record, Wild Heart, Grammy nominee. Woohoo! Congratulations. That is fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I got off a plane. We were getting off a plane. We're obviously on tour. And you slip your phone off airplane mode, and it lit up, just text after text after email after, and I just started looking at it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I looked online because, people were saying congrats on the nomination, and I was like, what? Really? And I looked online at the list, and there I was. It's, it's clear as day, and I was just like, oh my God, I just got a Grammy nomination. This is crazy.
So meet Mindi Abair. Who's the first person you called and told about it?
Well, I hugged every guy in the band who was right there. so yeah, but I called my parents. You got to call your parents, and my dad's a sax player and a keyboard player, and he played keyboards on the record. He can't play sax anymore. Something happened to his hand.
Did he?
And he played keys on one of the songs, and I was just like, oh my gosh,
Is he the reason you picked up the saxophone?
Actually, he was definitely a big reason. Mm-hmm. I mean, I grew up on the road with his band. It's kind of a blue-eyed soul band, and they were just really high energy, and he'd be out with the sax. I mean, from the time I was born till the time I was almost 5, he'd be out there just rocking and rolling. He'd be shimmying and knocking his knees together. It was awesome. And so, 4th grade, I was lucky enough to have a school band program. I always get in there and fight for school band programs now. And they put out all these instruments on the ground. Mrs. Reynolds did. And she goes, pick an instrument and take it to your chair, and we'll learn how to play them. And I looked around, and I was just like, Dad rocks on that saxophone. I'm 8 years old, and all I know is my dad looks like he's having a blast on the sax. So I wanted to play it.
You're a trailblazer. I remember, Mindi, honestly, the first time that you came to the Jazz Fest. And it's like, who is this Mindi Abair on the saxophone? Whoa, knock your socks off.
I love that.
Truly a trailblazer. So if you meet other young women or you're in schools and you're talking to kids, what's the best advice you can give to them? Because, you obviously had no barriers. You went, saxophone, I can do that. Never mind that there wasn't another woman out there doing that. So what's your advice?
I always tell everyone, whether it's girls or boys coming up playing the sax, I think so much of it is just doing what you love and putting yourself out there. And I'll tell you a story from my senior year in high school. I'm a girl and I'm, playing sax and I'm doing my thing, and I wanted to be in the jazz band, right? I wanted to play with those people, right? I thought the jazzers were the cool ones, jazz and rock, I didn't want to be in that symphonic band. So for Florida All-State Jazz Band, I'm from Florida, I wanted to try out, and that's like everyone from the state of Florida. But they only choose 2 alto saxophonists.
Wow.
So I was like, ooh, okay, I got to buck up here. And, I was practicing and everything. There was an audition. So I'm practicing. And I finally came to the conclusion, I'm just a little girl from St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm practicing. There's going to be like 10 guys who are going to blow me out of the water. Like, I got no chance, realistically. And so I just kind of put the horn down and said, I'm going to let this one go. I'm cool where I am. I'm just going to let it go. My dad comes in. He's like, oh, yeah, just quit. It's fine. I was like, no, I'm not quitting. I'm just, this is real life,
Right.
And he goes, all right, whatever. So I was like, oh, I can't quit. All right, never mind. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to audition. And I auditioned, and I got it. And I went into my dad. I'm like, oh, my God, I got it. I got first chair alto, in the Florida All-State Jazz Band. And he goes, sometimes it's not the most talented people who get what they want. Sometimes it's just the people who put themselves out there and who try and who go do what they love. And I was just like, that's the best advice now as an adult, best advice in the world. Because whether you're a woman, a man, black, white, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. If you go out there and do something that you're passionate about and stick to it and don't listen to the noise on either side saying you're not good enough or you're not the right color or you're not the right sex or this is not your time, you're too young, you're too old, you're going to beat yourself down. And there's plenty of people to do that for you. Don't do it to yourself.
So listen in here.
Yeah, I think so.
That's good advice.
Works for me.
It's working very, very well for you, Mindi. You'll be back for the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest?
Yes. I love it. I love doing this jazz festival. I mean, the first time I did it, I was, playing for John Tesh back in 1993.
Yeah.
And I've done this festival just so many times. I've lost count how many shows I've played at this festival. It's so many through the years. And it just feels like home. So many of the fans and the people who work this festival, I've gotten to know them over the years. They're friends now. And it always feels like I'm just home and we're just having a concert with friends and family. I love it here. Can't wait.
Even the fans feel like we're friends, so thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very, very much. Mindi Abair coming to us live from the Miller Center at RAC. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful holiday.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.